So, hello vinyl community and welcome to Bill's video on the 5 albums contest from the Vinyl Guru, with the link to her channel below. I reckon I haven't got much chance of winning this contest because I've just viewed the Jack's Tracks entry, and that's a fantastic little video, so well done there. But here's my choice of 5 highly recommended albums, and these are in no particular order. Plus you can see in the background there's maybe another couple of suggestions that aren't in the top 5, but as any music lover, any member of the vinyl community will know, that our favorite 5 records or our top 10 desert island discs change from day to day. So it just depends the mood you're in, which ones make the cut. But speaking about making it, I was surprised that I could still make it into my Who t-shirt from their tour in 1981. So you may expect to find a Who album in the 5, but watch out, see if you're right. So let's go. First up, an album of the highest caliber by a group or a duo with additional musicians, and it's Steely Dan. Steely Dan's back catalogue is full of excellent albums, but I've chosen this one because it's just got some sublime music in it. And well, one of the Scottish bands, Deacon Blue, got their name from one of the tracks on this album. But the title track, Asia, actually features Wayne Shorter on saxophone, and or is it trumpet? I think it's saxophone, and you can tell that it's a really class jazz musician that's on that track. But you've also got Black Cow, Deacon Blues, Peg, Home at Last, I Got the News, and Josie. And there's lines in this one of the tracks about drink Scotch whiskey all night long. So yeah, you can't get a better recommendation than that from Steely Dan. So highly recommended, but any album from their back catalogue is just ace. Next up, I won't keep you waiting any longer. We have Who's Next? And the iconic Aftermath album cover. So I'm not sure where they shot the footage that then found its way onto the album cover. But yeah, one of the album covers of classic rock. And this album is top notch from start to finish. So you start with Baba O'Reilly and you finish with a blood-curdling scream from Roger Daltrey on Won't Get Fooled Again. You've got Going Mobile on here. Behind Blue Eyes, good color of eyes that. And The Song Is Over, and Love Ain't For Keeping, and Bargain. And yeah, this is a 5-star, 10 out of 10, all killer, no filler album. And if I had to recommend any of the Who albums, yeah, Who's Next would be one of the first ones to spring to mind. But of course, they've got Live at Leeds, Quadrophenia, and the rock opera Tommy in their canon of masterworks. So who's next? So who's next? Another great name from the world of music. I've been lucky enough to see all the artists that are in this selection of 5, apart from Steely Dan, but spent a wonderful evening at the Aberdeen Exhibition Centre hearing some of the great tracks from the great albums by Mr. Neil Young. But Harvest Moon is an album that has classics such as From Hank to Hendrix, where he name checks Hank Williams and Jimi Hendrix and Marilyn Monroe and Madonna. And yeah, this has also got Unknown Legend, and the title track, Harvest Moon, is excellent. This particular copy is done over 3 sides of vinyl, but the 4th side is the image from the album cover. So nice bit of artwork and a way of having 4 sides of vinyl, but only 3 sides of music, which reminds me of a single by Bow Wow Wow, who were managed by the legendary Malcolm McLaren, and it was a single that only had 1 side. So, but yes, let's get back to these 5 albums. And we also have the song Old King, about one of Neil Young's dogs, and Dreaming Man and War of Man. Yeah, fantastic album from start to finish. Another 10 out of 10. And again, if you're not familiar with Neil Young's work, I would recommend you start off maybe with Decade, which is a collection of his songs that include some of the Buffalo Springfield catalogue, and Neil selected every track in that album himself. But if I only had to choose one Neil Young album, this is definitely the one to go for. Next up, another megastar who sadly passed away in 2016. Still find it hard to believe that the world no longer is home to David Bowie. But this was my very first Bowie album. So we've got Life on Mars on here, and Changes, and Oh You Pretty Thing, which was covered as a single by Peter Noone in the UK. I think Peter Noone was also part of the British invasion following hot on the heels of the Beatles conquering the States in the early 60s. But we've got a tribute here to Andy Warhol, and the Bewley Brothers, whoever they are, but it's a fantastic song. And an artist who didn't make the cut of 5, which some people will think is unforgivable, but there's a song to Robert Zimmerman in here that is a tribute to Bob Dylan, who continues to put out great music, even in this particular difficult period of time in the 21st century. But David Bowie's Hunky Dory, this is the one to start with. And then you've got all the rest of the catalogue, Ziggy Stardust and Aladdin Sane, right through to Let's Dance. And then you kind of skip over after Let's Dance, unless you're a diehard fan, and you go on to the next day, and then the very poignant Black Star album. But no better place to start than Hunky Dory from David Bowie, the man who sold the world. Now, vinyl wouldn't be vinyl without this latter-day champion behind it. But this is a great album from another man who I saw in the Usher Hall in Edinburgh. And it was a fantastic concert because Jack confiscates all mobile phones when he's doing a show so that he can feed off the vibe of the crowd. So yeah, fantastic concert, I think late 2018 when I saw him. But this album, Lazaretto, starts off with three women. We've got Lazaretto, the title track, Highball Stepper, Just One Drink, The Black Cat Licorice, and I Think I Found the Culprit, amongst others. And of course, on this album, you have to be very, very careful when you're playing it, because on one side, it doesn't start from the outer edge and then the needle doesn't track all the way into the inner edge. On one side of this, you have to start by dropping the needle on the inner edge, where you normally find the run-out matrix, and it winds its way back out to the outside. And then on the other side, you, depending on where you drop the needle at the normal outer edge, depending where you drop the needle, you either get an acoustic intro or an electric intro into the song. And bonus for something else, I think was a first for vinyl, and that is the hologram of angels spinning round. And that's just fantastic to listen to the record and hold a torch in the appropriate place and watch these hologram angels spinning round. So that's all for me today. And yeah, since I've only got single figure subscribers, it would be very helpful if you could press the subscribe button and see if you can get me up to double figure or maybe even treble figure subscribers. But that's all for today, and I'll be back soon with another video.